Hey guys, what's up? How are you? Hope that you guys are having an amazing one today. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Jarell, and in today's video we are going to be playing with the McGrath palettes that I purchased. So this one is the All Mattes palette, and then I got this one right here, which is called the Iconic Infatuation, and I only purchased one of the liquid shadows just because I did not know how I was going to like it, and I have already been seeing videos on it. I didn't want to watch it, but I can't help myself when I'm cleaning, when I am doing laundry, when I'm folding clothes. That is what I am doing. I'm watching YouTube videos, and yeah. So let's go ahead and get into it. I am going to create some looks for you guys just so I can give you some inspiration, and of course give you my final thoughts in regards of this collection, if I think it's worth it or not based on my experience, my style. So if you guys are new here, I hope that you stay and subscribe, of course, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here again. And without further ado, let's get on to the video. Alright guys, so I went ahead and put my hair up. I primed my eyes using my P. Louise base, which I need to repurchase because I'm running super low, but I absolutely love this primer just because it gives me a really nice blank canvas. I also have a different background. As you can see, I'm trying to paint this white or gray. It is a little stained, so I do apologize for that, but this is what we are working with right now, and I think that this is going to be my new schedule for filming, which is at nighttime, and you know, I'm just working with what I have. So alright, so let's go ahead and swatch of the palette. Here is the palette, which is the same as the box. I am not really feeling this packaging. I don't know, I don't like it. I really don't. I think it's just a lot going on in the packaging. It's not my favorite, but you know, it is really what's inside. And I was trying to see if I can actually remove the eyeshadows from the palette, just because it will be a lot easier to have them all at once. Here is the first Shimmer Shade, which is really nice and like a champagne-y kind of shade. Here is the matte, and here is the other Shimmer Shade, which is more on the pinky tone. So the mattes do feel a little bit dry when I'm swatching them, but here is the bottom row. Just turning down my lights a little bit so you guys can see the swatches a little bit better. And here they are. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and start. I'm going to start with this shade right here. Alright, so I'm adding that color in the outer corner and on my crease. I definitely like this color story a little bit better than the other one that she had, which is more of a warmer tones. I'm going to just build it up, and once I have almost nothing on my brush, I'm going to start just bringing it up and making sure that everything is blended, and I'm going to bring it down on my lower lash a little bit and really stunning it out. As you can see, I'm going to grab this deeper shade with the same brush. I'm going to focus that in the outer corner. And out of the two palettes that had the shimmers and matte, this one was definitely a little bit more my type for what I'm liking right now, and I've never would have thought that I was going to say that, just because this is definitely more on the cooler side, more mauve tones, pinky tones, and we have a lot of these shades already within the Pat McGrath line. So I don't think that this palette is definitely necessary, but out of the two, this is the one that I was a little bit more drawn to. We have these colors, guys. Okay, with my finger, I'm going to take this shade right here, which is super, super pretty, like pinky, cool tone, taupey kind of shade, and I'm going to add it on my lid. One thing that I noticed from Pat McGrath shadows that I always absolutely love is that they do not emphasize any of the texture on my lid. However, I do see a difference on the formula for this one right here, just because it is definitely emphasizing the little wrinkles that I have in the inner part of my eyelid, the texture that I have on my eyelid, and that is just something that Pat McGrath never does, and that is a little bit disappointing. This palette does have a shelf life of 12 months and is made in the USA. Usually the ones that I really enjoy, and I know that for sure it does not emphasize any of my textures, are the ones that are made in Italy. So I already see a huge difference in formula, especially with these shimmer shades. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on. I'm going to use this shade right here to add it in the inner corner. Okay, that brightened things up for sure. And I'm going to use the darker shade in the palette to smoke out my lower lashes. Going back with the first shade and just blending the edges again of everything. So let's go ahead and just move on to the next look. So what I'm gonna do is just grab the shimmer shade, which is this one right here, the one that we didn't use, with my finger, and I'm just going to add it all over my lid. I'm going to use a clean brush just to smooth the edges. And now going in with the darkest shade and just going to add it in the outer corner just to create that dimension. And when there's not a lot of product on the brush, I'm just going to move it little by little towards the crease, very, very lightly, so it can give us a little bit of definition. All right, using my finger, I'm going to add this shade right here, which is the lighter shade right in the center. I'm just going to move it back and forth and going back with the first shade just to make sure that we're not losing that one. Just going to add it in the outer parts. So this does have a little bit of a duochrome effect because I do feel like it's a little pinky and coppery at the same time. And I'm going to highlight again with the same champagne shade right in the inner corner. Going to bring it up and just shape it up a little bit. All right, I'm going to use a brown liner to tight line, and I'm going to just add this to my waterline.
Feel uninvited, left home in West LA, I'm not excited, so uninspired, on my way to play the bay while you're alone. This girl's a wonder.
Here is the final look. Here is look number 1. And here is look number 2. And here are both of the looks. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next palette, which is the all matte. But first, let's go ahead and swatch it. So here is the color story for the palette. And let's go ahead and swatch it. Wow, that feels crumbly, but soft on the first 2 shades. The more mauvey ones are the ones that actually feel a little bit more dry. So here we have the first shade. Here is the second one. And here we have the third one. I don't know if you just saw that, but it's definitely crumbling down to the next 3. Yeah, the mauvey ones, the red ones, they do feel a little bit more drier for sure. So let's go ahead and see how they swatch. All right, so here are all the shades. And let me go ahead and swatch the liquid shadow for you guys so you guys can see it. Just blend it out. All right, so here is the liquid shadow, and this one is in the shade Luna Rose. All right, so I am going to remove the eyes and then we're going to do the final look. Guys, so I went ahead and prime one eye, like the whole entire lid, and this one right here I just prime on my brow bone and the crease area and a little bit on my lower lashes. I don't want to put anything in the middle of it just because I am going to use this shade right here for this eye. I'm going to create 2 looks, I decided, so let's go ahead and get into it. So I am going to take this shade right here, which is the nice caramelly kind of color, and I'm going to place it on my crease. I went ahead and changed brushes, but I'm using the same shade and I really didn't think it was going to be super pigmented like this. So I'm trying to blend it out, and I'm going to stand it out and run it on my lower lashes. I really like this color for sure. It's really nice and beautiful. So using the Refer 13 brush in this a darker shade right here, the Refer 13, it's really small. So I'm going to focus that in the outer corner, and this is a super deep. Yeah, I wish that we can actually take these shadows out of this pan just so I can put them all together in one spot. Going to see if I can do that without damaging the shadows. But yeah, this one is super dark. Okay, and just taking a little bit of the previous shade and just blending the edges. I'm going to bring it in a little bit on the crease, very little, with whatever product I have on the brush. I'm going to run this color as well on my lower lashes, really close to my lash line, and just going back and forth with these two colors right here and just blending the edges. I'm going to take the lightest shade in the palette. I'm going to pack it on the lid. Taking a little bit of this darker shade with an angle brush like this, and I'm just going to run it on my lower lash. And just blending it in with what we did in the outer corner. And just going back with the beige shade just to pack it on a little bit more. Alright guys, so now let's go ahead and move on to this eye right here, and I'm going to start with the darker shade, and I'm just going to pack it in the outer corner. And I don't have any primer on my eyelid for this eye, just on my crease. So I'm going to really just wing it out and blend it as much as I can. I'm going to take this shade right here with another clean brush, and I'm going to run it on my lower lashes, really close to my lash line, and really emphasizing that color in the outer corner and just bringing it in a little bit. A really nice mauve tone shade, just like that. And with the same brush, I'm just going to clean it, and now using this shade right here, I'm going to add it right here on our crease. Going to build it up a little bit and just blending it. Now that we have everything in place, let's go ahead and add the liquid shadow. I'm going to add it a little bit, and then I'm going to blend it out. So I'm going to start in the inner corner, and I'm going to blend it out with a brush. Just keeping it on the lid. Going to press it down, blend the edges. Alright, going back with the darker shade just to blend the edges right here. I'm just adding a little bit more of that burgundy shade. Going to add this cream shadow right on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use the brush just to add it a little bit more right on the crease. So you do have to work a little bit fast with this product, but not too fast. It gives you a little bit of time to just move it around, but once it sets, it's not going anywhere. I'm going to take the matte beige shade, which I think, believe it or not, I think this is my favorite shade out of the whole entire two palettes that I just used. I love shades like this so much. I think they are really nice and beautiful, and I'm going to use it as an eraser just to bring it down a little bit and to be able to blend the other shade that I have on my crease. Alright guys, so I am going to recurl my lashes, show you the final look after just fixing the surrounding areas, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so here is look number 3. It's really matte, there's no shimmer or anything like that. And here is look number 4 using the liquid shadow. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and talk about the palettes and the liquid eyeshadow. First of all, I don't think that I mentioned, but these right here retail for $65 each, and the liquid eyeshadow is $29. Let's go ahead and start with the liquid eyeshadow. Again, it is a Luna Rose, and here again we have the packaging that it comes in, and here is the liquid eyeshadow. A really nice, beautiful color, but am I blown away by it? Absolutely not. I already knew it. Like, that is the only reason why I ordered one, just because I knew that she was not going to do what I wanted her to do, which is give us like super nice and shimmer kind of liquid shadows from the way that they actually looked in the packaging, even on her website. And I knew that it was not going to be like super sparkling like the special shades that she has, the astral shades that she has in her collection. For some reason, I just had that kind of intuition that it was not going to be that formula. So that is the only reason why I ordered one, and I am not mad at myself for ordering one. $29 for a liquid eyeshadow, it is a very expensive, and I just wanted to test it out. Now if I was completely wrong in the formula, I was going to get maybe another shade or two, but now that we have it here, and I also have seen other reviews, the formula, it's just not special enough for me to pay $29. So definitely I'm so happy that I only got one, and I'm just not going to use it again. I'm pretty sure that I am not, just because it's not special enough. I feel like I can definitely get the same kind of vibe for this eye right here using just a regular eyeshadow. I don't have to mess with liquids, I don't have to be quick on blending it or anything like that. Now when it comes to the palettes, I am so disappointed. Not at the collection, okay? I understand, you know, when it comes to a love collection, you know, we want to be romantic, we want to be really nice and soft. It's just I am so not happy on getting the same kind of color tones from Pat McGrath over and over again. She could have made this, I don't know, maybe a little bit special by giving us maybe an astral shade, because again, these palettes right here are $65. So I was excited because it had this 2 shimmer shades, and I was really looking forward to this one right here, which is more of a taupey kind of rosy shade, and I am completely disappointed in the quality of the eyeshadow, just because it just emphasized the texture of my eyelid, and I absolutely do not like that. Any eyeshadows that do that to me, I automatically don't want to use it again. So I know for sure I'm not going to be reaching for this palette, especially for that shade, just because I don't want to look like I have a wrinkly eyelids. I mean, who wants that? Nobody. But yeah, I'm super sad about this. In the color story, again, it's just really reminiscent to when it comes to the Mothership 7, which is one of my favorites. So if you want to just save your money and actually get that palette instead of this one, please do, because if you've never tried anything from Pat McGrath, don't get these ones. I'm so sorry, I absolutely love Pat McGrath so much, but the Mothership palettes are just so much worth it to me, in my opinion. And Mothership 7 is absolutely stunning. It is the best palette when it comes to like being really nice and romantic. It's just really nice rosy cool tones, very wearable for sure, but it gives you something special with those astral shades. And I know that it's $128 maybe for the Mothership, but yeah, definitely save your money and get that palette instead of these 2 right here. When it comes to the matte palette, I mean, I'm not mad at this one, okay? I'm not mad at this one. I actually do like the whole entire matte look. I feel and I wish that I can take these eyeshadows out of here, just because I will put it in a different like little palette instead of having this like bulky kind of palette right here. And the packaging is just not my style, and I know I sound really complaining, just because I want to be 100% honest with you guys. If I am loving something, I'm going to share it with you. If I am not, I'm not into it, it's not really vibing with me, I am going to let you know. And unfortunately, this whole entire collection to me is just not it from Pat McGrath, not what I was expecting, is not doing anything for me. But again, you know, the matte palette, I think it is not so bad. I really do like this shade right here. It just feels really nice and creamy, and it's very much pigmented, where you can actually just pack it all over the lid and just have something like this. It is super gorgeous and I really do like it. But I mean, do you want to spend $65 in a palette that is going to give you shadows that you might already have in your collection? No. I don't think so. You know, but it's already here, so I am going to be using this one. I think I'm going to use this one a lot. The darker shade does take a little while to just blend, but it does blend out. But you do have to put some work into it, so it's not as easy as other matte eyeshadows that I really prefer, like the Natasha Denona ones. I do prefer those a little bit better, just because they actually just blend themselves out, and I absolutely love those. But that is just my experience with these items right here. I hope that if you are eyeing the Love collection from Pat McGrath, I was able to assist you whether you are going to get it or not. I am going to link everything down below in the description area, just in case you guys are interested. I do get a really small commission whenever you guys use my links, so I do really appreciate it when you guys do. If you don't get anything from this collection, that is totally okay, but let me know in the comment section down below if I was able to inspire you to use what you already have in your collection, and which look was your favorite, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And yeah, that is it, my friends, and that is it for this video. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your love, your time, and support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you next time.